Hello, everyone. I want to talk about eggs. I saw a video out there on YouTube the other day where supposedly, I don't know if the guy in the White House, said this or he reposted what someone else had said, on his True Social or X page. I'm not sure which one it was. That Americans needed to shut up about eggs because they were saving Americans millions of dollars, which I find very interesting because that was one of the main things, that people said they were so concerned about. And he promised that he was going to bring down the price of eggs and gas and make America affordable again. But now it's a whole different story. But you know what? I was never that concerned about the price of eggs anyway. I certainly didn't let it sway me in how I voted, in November 2024. I always, the eggs that I always bought cost a little more than regular eggs anyway, because I just like those eggs. They were the brown eggs, and they didn't have, I'm really funny about eggs anyway, Lord. When I was a kid, I did a project, science project around eggs, showing how they develop, turning into a chicken, all of the blood veins and all of that stuff. And it kind of grossed me out. For a long time, I didn't even eat eggs. And I've always been funny about them ever since. And I don't like all of that little white stuff that's around the yolk, I always get that out of the egg. And I always beat my eggs, regardless of what the recipe says. I always beat my eggs, and if a recipe calls for 5 eggs, I will get that stuff out of the eggs and I'll beat them all up together. And if they say add them one at a time, I'll just pour a little of it in the batter one at a time, like that. I could never ever just crack an egg into anything. I see people do that all the time, when they're doing recipes. I mean, they just crack an egg open and drop it in there, whatever they're making. And I could never do that. Sometimes those eggs have blood in them, blood specks and little brown specks. And like I said, I'm just funny about eggs. I know it's not going to kill and nobody's died from it or anything. So it's really not going to harm you as far as I can tell. But that's just me. So, but you know what? If eggs got so pricey, I just would stop buying eggs. I would, I mean, we can do without a whole lot of things, I probably don't need any cakes and pies anyway, So I'm not going to stress over eggs or the price of eggs. If I want some eggs and if I have the money to buy the eggs, regardless of what they cost, I'm going to buy me some eggs, We don't eat, me and my husband, we don't eat that many eggs anyway. I do scramble them sometimes for breakfast, and they're good. But we don't eat eggs every day, for breakfast either. So, but anyway, I have noticed lately that the eggs that I like to buy, most of the time the shelf is empty. They don't have them. And I noticed the last time I was in Kroger, that they had a sign up limiting people on the number of cartons of eggs that they could buy. So we're at that stage, So, but anyway, I just thought that was interesting, you know, that we're being told to shut up about eggs. And they have eggs for all prices, you know. They have cheap eggs, you know, and expensive eggs. So buy the eggs that you can afford, you know, and don't worry about the price of eggs. And if they get too pricey or they're not around, don't worry about it. Like my sister, one of my sisters, we were talking on the phone yesterday. And she said that she was going to start using mayonnaise. She was going to buy her a big jar of mayonnaise. And she was going to start using mayonnaise in place of eggs. And that is a substitute for eggs. You can use mayonnaise. So, and there might be some other substitutes, I don't know. But I know mayonnaise is one. I knew about that. So, you know, there are ways to get around things. Don't get stressed out over the price. I just never could understand why people were just harping on the price of eggs, and blaming Biden for the price of eggs. Well, who are they blaming now for the price of eggs? You know, it seems to be okay now. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting. And hey, stop worrying about those eggs. Over and out.